What's up guys, I'm going to be starting a new series. It's going to be about how to get GC. I know in this video I might be targeting some different kinds of players. I know I have a part for you champs out there, but some of the general tips might help out everyone, so stay along, and then maybe you'll be able to find that one thing that will prevent you from ranking up. I'm going to be covering 3 aspects in this video, and the one I'll be covering today will be game sense. So hopefully I can get all you plat players to actually start learning how to hit the ball instead of triple resets. No, I'm joking. First part of the process would be how to actually hit the ball. It sounds kind of dumb, but it's something that a lot of ranks don't know and need to learn. One would be like hitting the ball to space. Imagine you see the ball and there's 2 opponents on your left, but there's like a free field on the right. A lot of players actually like to try to rush through the opponents. Even if you get a good 50, still it won't really work. You have to go to the open space. So it's good to like get a soft touch, which I'll be talking about later. But you can go for soft touches to the right. You can even get like a dribble to the right and then get a flick. But it's always good looking for space. You'll be able to see it on the ceiling sometimes. I know a lot of good players like to hit it to the ceiling and then get a good touch after it bounces back. Sometimes it can be on the wall. Players will cover so much of the open space that the ball is just free. So yeah. Another topic I want to cover that a lot of people don't really talk about is passing. It's probably going to appear a lot more in those higher ranks like champ, maybe diamond, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, it's really good. Passing is good when your opponents are like covering you only, like both of your opponents are facing towards you. Your teammate can play up. If you see him playing up, try to get the pass to him. It's also good if you're stuck back, let's say it's a 1v2 but you have the ball. Imagine your teammate's up, maybe he's even going ceiling or something, I don't know, let's just say he's going up, and you want to try to hit it to him, and then you could probably get an open net. Your teammate's good at shooting. I'll also say don't forget about fakes. There's a lot of good ball fakes that you can do. Like I like to think of fakes as like your last resort almost. Not really your last resort, but like let's say the opponents, if they pre-flip and you shoot, they would get the save. That's the perfect time to fake, especially when the ball is still. But you can also do other kinds of fakes, like you can jump and fake, a fake challenge. All of those are really good for making the opponent give away possession, so you can use those on defense. And then the last aspect of actually knowing how to hit the ball is not on the ball. It's going to be off of the ball that will allow you to go onto the ball, like demos, bumps, and all of that. And then don't forget boost too. Boost is really important because there's these small pad routes that you can go through, and it sounds kind of dumb. All the pros are like, oh, take the corner. Or not take the corner, but like take the corner route, like the wide out ring on the field. I wish I could draw it. And then there's also a lot of concerns over big boost. Big boost is actually good to take only if you're not gonna constantly go for the ball. If you're rotating back, you can take the big boost in 2s. If your teammate is like, let's say your teammate is like making a play, it's okay to go for the big boost if you literally can't do anything else to help. It's just good for when you're not helpful on the field. Another common misconception is the amount of people going for boost over ball. I know even my teammates in GC, sometimes they'll be going for the big boost when the ball is literally wide open. So the part when you do go for boost in that corner, or like that midfield, is when your teammate will be able to get back, make a play, and the opponent can't dunk them. If the opponent's going for an air dribble, you might be able to steal big boost, but you have to have enough time. It's worth like watching if your opponent is going to hit the ball back. And then boost over ball, it's kind of rough because sometimes you can go boost over ball if your teammate like isn't there. It might even work as a fake if you go for boost over ball. Like if you're in the corner, your opponent's gonna shoot it or something, you can do a fake challenge on the boost, but that's really hard. But yeah, boost over ball is kind of tough. I'd definitely say go for it if it's right in front of the net, but if you're second man, boost over ball is sometimes okay. Something definitely is aerialing. Sometimes I catch myself aerialing when I can easily just run up the wall. And I find that 90% of the time I actually aerial for a ball instead of going on the wall, I get beat. I forgot the last time I actually aerialed and got to something. It's probably like gold. And then the ceiling is also okay, but it's kind of rough when you should use it. Of course, you could go for a stealing shot on offense if you're one of those mechie players, but on defense, it can be good to use. Let's say the opponent's going towards the ceiling with an air dribble, you can go to the ceiling yourself and then try to challenge it. So it's mostly okay to challenge something if it's going to be close to that area. So let's say the ball is close to the ceiling, you can go on the ceiling. I'd say aerial if it's not completely close to a wall, but it's still on the ceiling, because that's a point when you should just aerial. But if it's close to the wall and it's like still on the ceiling, you could probably go up the wall and hit it from the ceiling. Then something that's really, really important for your rank would be soft touches. I see so many champ players just losing every time their opponent actually knows how to do a soft touch. So pretty much the idea for a soft touch is you hit it with the wheel of your car or the hood. The point of the soft touch is to get a touch you can follow up, which also moves the ball in a direction or stops it. So after you soft touch, you can usually dribble, do a bounce dribble, do even other mechs, like you can even do an air dribble after a soft touch if you really want to. And then, yeah, just generally dribbling. A kind of good thing to do would be like to work on cuts all the time. I've heard of a good player called Flakes who's really good at cuts and how to use them, so you can watch him. He's a good option. The cut is the main way to get around the first defender. That's why pros use cuts, because it's good to get around the first guy, like catch him off guard. And then dribbles aren't really that, I'd say they aren't really that good for when you're playing the first man, because you just flick it over the first man. Even if it's a good flick, the second man will probably still get it, or the first man will dunk you if you go too far. But it's good to use with lots of space. It's something that Flakes likes to do a lot and use in the game is power slide cuts. They'll force your opponents to respect you, and then about respect, you have to pay attention to your opponent game. They might just generally not respect you. You might think you're losing because, I don't know, of your teammate, but it could be your opponent is just playing a certain playstyle. And playstyle isn't really that important, but if they're insta-challenging you like all the time, you gotta realize that. So I'd say a good tip for insta-challengers is if they're going for the ball a lot, like, I'd like to think of three kinds of people. There's the people that respect you, there's the people that go for the ball, and there's the people that go for where the ball is going. So for the people that just generally go for the ball, low 50s would be good. For where the ball is going, it's a lot tougher because you have to like pull in fakes, but you can still just do like high flicks and it's hard for them to get you. And for the people that respect you, you can actually play a game, go for dribbles, go for air dribbles even. Then there's also those people who are really defensive. It's kind of annoying because they save everything. But I'd say for like really, really defensive people, let's say both of your opponents are sitting in net. This is for twos, by the way. It could be threes, but it's generally anything. I'd say when your opponents are sitting in the net, just go for your mechanics, honestly. This is where the mechanics come in. When your opponents are just on their own in the net, like flicks, dribbles, fakes, anything. And then mix it up, because if you do only one thing, your opponents might adapt to you. It's good to keep it random. I'd say that last tip is definitely for more champ level players if you're in that category. And also, for the very last part of game sense, I could make a part 2 for if enough people want it. I'd say pay attention to your teammates too. Part of the problem could actually be your teammates. This is a hot take. Part of the problem could actually be your teammates. Like, they could overly play aggressive or offensive, but you can't really change your teammates. That's the end point. They could be bad, but you can't change them. So if your teammate is being really ball chasey, then try to play defensive and cover more options. But if he's playing really defensive, he'll probably have those options covered, so you can play really aggressive, take the ball most of the time, but don't cut rotations. Still play a little safe before every game. And it's good to have a balanced teammate. And finally, for the final few tips, your teammates could just generally suck. Like, I've found whenever I play my champ games or my grand champ games, some of them actually just act like they're a full rank set pro. So this is where I plug my Discord. I know my Discord, it's growing kind of fast, so you can probably find someone that's your rank. I know some people in the Discord who actually need teammates, maybe in like the plat level, diamond level. So that would be a good place to go for teammates. If not, I know there's other people in like the Musty Discord server, generally the Rocket League Discord server. You can go there for teammates. You definitely want to find a teammate that kind of reflects not your play style, but just what you need to win. then for the final tip, sound kind of cocky, but realize you can also just be you, not your teammate. Always try to fix your game and get that rank up.